Watch Star Power with Hank Norman on the Whatever It Takes network. Boom, that's how it's done.
See, that's how it's done. This is the Whatever It Takes network. I'm your host, Hank Norman. You are watching Star Power. Red light. The biggest problem you have is vulnerability. You're scared to share of yourself. And the reason that's a problem, and a lot of people have a problem sharing themselves, is because to put yourself on Front Street, let everybody see your foibles, the real you, the fat you, the scared you, is to put yourself out there and be judged. So today, I'm going to visit with Jenny Hutt. Jenny is a lawyer, a Sirius satellite radio show host. She was a co-host with Dr. Drew, and there's no one who understands the media and how to be vulnerable than Jenny. The thing about sharing yourself, and what Jenny understands more than anything else, is sharing of yourself in that way, showing that you're sick, tired, scared, nervous. That creates the connection. When people see themselves in you and can connect with you on that level emotionally and see that just being on TV and being a personality doesn't mean you don't have problems. It doesn't mean you're not scared. It doesn't mean you don't have body issues. And it doesn't mean your life is perfect. Here's the thing. Risk is attractive. You want to take risk. You want people to see you putting yourself out there because now you have everything to gain. You're creating that dynamic where not only do they see themselves, but they see someone willing to be vulnerable and willing to be judged. That strength is very attractive, and that's what you have to do. Like, I don't care that people think I'm crazy and that I'm talking to myself, and they don't.
I like to thank you for the tip.
You'll find plenty of people to step up and help you because now you're a person. Now you're looking for other people and you're looking for a connection. You're looking to close that connection. And that creates an audience. And that creates a really close connection between you and anyone watching you. So if you're brave enough to ask for help and share your foibles and share what's going on with your life and how scared you are, the audience will come running. That's what I mean. What I mean. Let's go talk to Jenny. Right here, babe. Keep walking. Come here. I want to mic you out here.
I went to the 17th floor. I went to the lobby. I went to the ground floor, and I went back to the lobby. This is very inconvenient right now. Hold on.
Yeah. This is how we make TV about TV. It's inconvenient.
Jesus Christ.
Are you in a bad mood?
No.
Can I put you in a good mood?
Yeah. I'm good. Don't worry.
I'm not worried.
All right. What am I doing? Or you want me to just...
I can help you. You're a professional. I'll help you, or you can.
I'm fine. I can handle it.
Can handle it.
I was getting mic'd.
This is part of the show, getting mic'd. This will be in the show.
That's just great. Great.
How are you?
I didn't ask about the camera angle. I hope it's a wide lens to show the wide thighs.
Say hi to Blake.
Hi, Blake.
This is Jenny.
Hi. Hold on. I'm now snaking a microphone. It's a sexy look. Okay. Got it.
You're a professional.
I am a professional. Do you know how many times I've been violated by sound people?
Many. Let's talk to people
Yeah.
about how do you make money in this business? How do you get in this business? Like, how hard? Like, one thing, because a lot of people come to me, as you know, like,
Yes.
hey, make this happen for me. This is hard work,
Well,
dude.
that whole thing is strange.
this
I
is
get
hard
that all
work.
the time. People come up to me and they're like, I want to do this, I want to
Yeah.
do that, and I'm funny.
Yeah, I'm funny.
And I'm like, all right,
My
now
parents
what?
say I'm hilarious.
Right. And
Who
by the way,
fucking
he or she might be hilarious,
Yeah.
but I think it just takes a lot more
Oh
than,
my God.
than the wish.
But can I ask you a question,
Please,
Dr. Drew?
please.
You said before that when someone's spiraling into crazy, they don't know they're acting crazy.
Right,
So
they lose
are you
insight. They lose
So are
insight.
you saying that if we know when we're acting crazy, that we're probably not crazy?
Jenny, is this a personal question or is this
It might be. It might be.
you know what a grind it is.
Yes.
You know that this is work. You've been working at this for a long time.
It takes 10 years to be an overnight success.
So let's go grab a drink.
I'll have some water.
Okay. Oh, you don't drink?
No.
You don't drink at all?
No alcohol. Never liked it.
Never liked it?
No. But I'll tell you,
Did
I
you
once
give it
went-
up, or you just
No,
was
no,
something
no.
you never
Actually, it's a
had?
funny story because it doesn't agree with my system. I think I miss the gene to process alcohol. So, but one time I was out to dinner with a group of moms, and we're at this big family-style restaurant, and everyone around the table, there's 8 girls, and the server comes over and says, "What would you like to drink?" I was so tired of explaining why I don't drink that when he got to me and I said I don't drink, nothing for me,
Yeah.
I then followed up with, "I'm in recovery." Wait.
That's awesome.
So he's like, "Oh wow, I have 6 years. How long do you
no.
have?"
Now you got to keep the
So
charade.
now I say, "It's 3 for me," and things are going well a day at a time because I know the program. I went to
But now-
Overeaters Anonymous
Right,
at
but now
one
you have to,
point.
now you have to lie.
Right, wait, it gets better. So the dinner's going on and on and on, and the other girls are drinking, and I'm drinking my water or maybe Diet Coke at the time. And he comes back and he says to the girls, "Why don't you try the apple martinis, the apple teenies, they're delicious." My friends get apple teenies. They know I like candy. I've forgotten about our earlier conversation. They're like, "Jenny, you have to try this. It's so delicious. It tastes like an apple lollipop. You have to have it."
Yep.
So of course I take one of their drinks, put it to my lips, take a sip, and at that very moment, our eyes catch, the server and me. So now, he thinks I've fallen off the wagon in front of him, and then I had to come clean. Then I was like, I was only
a liar.
kidding, I was lying, which is classic addict behavior anyway.
Yes. So, the answer, how did you get in? What's the
Okay,
first step
so
into?
Let me tell you my whole deal.
Yeah.
I am a lawyer.
Yep.
So
Why'd you go to law school?
Because my dad told me I had to.
Good girl.
And yeah, I am. And then I didn't work, as I said, I was home. And when my kids were, when my kids were 5 and 7, my father needed a new assistant. There was a whole thing with an assistant he had and stealing, and I uncovered this whole, it was crazy. It was full-on crazy made-for-TV movie drama. But my father was going to work with Martha Stewart, and he needed an assistant, and my sister and I were deciding who was going to do it, and my hand just shot up. And so at that time, I met Martha's daughter, Alexis, and I guess she was going to have a radio show, and then she asked me to do it with her. We started doing a radio show on Sirius XM, and I think it was when Sirius was just becoming. It was about 6 months or 4 months before Howard Stern was starting. All right, so we're in the studio. Can you see? I'll do around the room
do a
look.
thingy?
Yep. We're going
Panoramic
around
view?
the room.
And back
Panoramic
up.
view of the studio. And here comes Emily. And Paulie, come say hello. So no one was listening,
Yep.
but people were signing up, and they were like waiting, so they'd put on a station, and somehow the two of us found this great fan base and created this terrific little show that turned into a bigger show, and that pretty much started it.
What would you say felt like, or really was like the biggest setback or failure you've had in the business so far?
Well, I had to rebuild. When my ex-co-host, ex-business partner, and I stopped working together, I had to start over. So that was, I had to rebrand in 10 days, and that was a challenge.
For me, being a fan and viewing you objectively, as we all do.
Of course, yeah.
Your defining moment, and I think you posted it on YouTube, when you watch you and Alexis on the Today Show.
Oh God, geez. A lot of people think that, yeah.
You are Grace under pressure. She's being a bitch, bitchy, weird, antagonistic, anger. She's being angry.
Yeah, but
and
Alexis.
you're not angry.
Well, I'm not angry.
That's defining.
So, well,
That shows a true personality of someone who is a connector, who cares, and not many people have that quality.
I'll tell you about that day.
Well, let me ask you about something. You two were very good friends. You hosted the show together.
Yep.
And as we learn at the end of the book, you've broken up.
Yes.
Those are your words. What happened?
Things don't always.
6 years is
Yeah.
a long time.
For anybody. We were together every day for 6 years doing a radio show 2 hours a day. And that sort of ends up being a little like a marriage. And as you know,
not all marriages last forever.
We hadn't seen each other in 6 months, and people that was 3 years ago, and people still talk about that Today Show appearance. So Alexis and I published a book called Whateverland. It's an adorable book. This was our first media thing about it, and our last media appearance about it. So had not seen each other. We see each other backstage, and it's all of hey and hi, and that was it. And then we're put on the set with Savannah Guthrie, who was not yet America's sweetheart. She was one of the correspondents, and she was the legal correspondent. So she's this real lawyer, and she kind of went at us as a lawyer. I knew that in a way the questioning was misguided, because I didn't feel like America cared why Alexis and I weren't friends anymore. We're not, Alexis is Martha's daughter, but we weren't famous for any, it just didn't make sense. Like, why would America care if two girls who were business partners weren't best friends anymore? It seemed odd to me that that was the focus. So that was number one. Number two, during the interview and knowing Alexis, I saw Alexis being badgered, and I felt like that wasn't really right.
Did something happen, or is this just a drifting apart?
I think it's a drift.
I think we're just different.
Well, you are very different.
Yeah.
That is apparent just from looking at the book. Jennifer, do you hope that this is a relationship that could be
Listen,
repaired?
I know Alexis well enough to know that if things are not, if she doesn't want to be involved in the relationship anymore, then that's how it is, and that's okay. I love her.
Some people, are clingy, and some people like to be by themselves. It's
I'm very clingy.
Doesn't make either person
right
bad. It just makes
which is
different.
Also in the book.
And I felt like I could help. So if there was grace under pressure, it was really more about the fact that I knew I could handle the situation, and I knew that she could rely on me in that moment, even if she didn't like me anymore. And there was something comforting about that dynamic.
That's clear. That's clear from the tape.
Right.
Just watch it. You'll see Jenny outshine and
no, I don't know that I was outshining, and then it goes back to the honest part, because then there was the whole thing about why aren't you friends and what happened, and nothing had happened. She just didn't like me anymore. So if someone doesn't like you anymore, I guess they wanted me to say that I hated her or whatever, but no, I think it would be really nice to talk to her or what, but people move on, and so what are you going to do? You have to move on.
To me, your superpower is being open and honest about your life.
It doesn't help anybody if you pretend to be someone who you're not. Let me rephrase that. I guess it helps them if who you're pretending to be is someone who is reachable or emulatable. Then it could be helpful.
Right.
But I feel like what I have seen too often is this idea of perfection, and people on TV who they're just perfect. Like, you just look at them and you think they're so lucky to live the life that they live. I don't think anybody really looks at me and thinks she's so lucky to live the life she lives. Yeah, that looks really delicious.
I like soapy.
You do not like soapy water.
I do.
Why?
Cleans you out.
You've got to be kidding. He can't. No way.
It's refreshing.
That's disgusting. And also maybe toxic.
Probably.
Okay. What? No. Really?
Very thirsty.
That was not intentional to have soapy water.
What?
You're pulling my leg. He's got to be pulling my leg.
How hard do you work at this thing, this job of being a personality?
I think I work tirelessly at it. I think if you're an actor, it's different. An actor can do a role and then go home and just have a life. But I think if you're a personality and you are the business, then you're always on. You're always working. It's just the way it is, because it's me.
What's the difference for you for on and off air?
Hair and makeup.
Just look different.
That's it. That is really it. I am in pajamas. The minute I go home, everything comes off. I take a shower and the sweats come on.
How do you make money in this business?
You don't. I mean, you don't. I run my life at a deficit. I think that's the biggest myth. People think that if you are on TV a lot, or you have a radio show, or you publish books, I mean, that you make a ton of dough. You really don't until you reach a level that it feels unattainable. Though for whatever reason, I still will go after it.
I love about you that's interesting that not many people know, or I don't think people know, or isn't part of the thing you're sharing.
What about the gum in my mouth? Can I throw that out?
Yeah, throw it at Blake.
No, I need a piece of paper.
You can put it on my phone.
I'm not putting my gum on your phone.
Put it in Shannon's
I'm not getting
hand.
it. No. Can you get a piece of paper? I'm not like.
Shannon's
He
hand.
might be a diva.
Put it in Shanna's hand.
Not my way. I wouldn't give a PA my chewed gum.
You know how much gum I've held in my life?
Probably a lot.
Barbara's,
doesn't mean I have to hold that kind of gum.
It's part of coming up with this business, and you know it.
It's holding people's chewing gum.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, thing I love about you.
Yeah.
And you're a connector, dude.
Yes.
What makes you amazing is you've taken that part of your personality, and you don't play that way necessarily when I listen to you, even though you have a lot of. It's clear from the Just Jenny show.
Thanks. Classy. Thank you.
I mean, it's clear you have a lot of friends, but that is a superpower that I think you have that a lot of, particularly in this business, because a lot of people do this in this business. Where they,
no, I bring them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who helped you the most? Who helped you? Who do you credit as having helped you in your career?
My father has helped me a lot. I would say my husband has helped me a lot. I think support is really important. That people certainly in this business, you get so much rejection. I mean, so much rejection.
Monday I start my new show on SiriusXM Stars. It's called Just Jenny, and that's because I'm just Jenny. I can't seem to be anybody else. And I hope you guys like it. It's going to be much like the other show. Of course, it's still just me. For those who keep asking or commenting about my chemistry with Alexis and how great that was, yeah, it was great. It was awesome. And I don't think that's something that can be duplicated. But it wasn't enough to keep her interested, I suppose, which is fine. Which, let's just move forward, everybody. Let's just move forward and be happy. That's what I'm trying to be.
That if you don't have people at home who are telling you you're still okay when everyone outside is telling you how not okay you are, then it's really extra tough to be in.
This question is funny to me, and I'm going to try. I have this thing. So
yes.
When you meet rich and famous people, like people that when you're at a party or you're trying to schmooze somebody, do you have a ritual of behavior that you go to, or how you deal with that, or how you socialize in that situation?
No. First of all, I grew up around a lot of famous people because my father, he still is, but he at the time ran record labels and was a big deal in the music business. And I guess he's still a big deal in the music business, but he's in so many different businesses now that it's hard to pigeonhole him into one. But I grew up thinking and learning and being taught that famous people were just people who had a talent, and that it was more appropriate to respect their talent rather than their fame.
Who are you palling around with these days? Come on.
I don't even know. I don't really pal around with any. Who do I pal around? Who's fabulous? I love Rosie. Rosie and I are friends.
You were right about the thing. I was completely wrong.
I was right.
You were right.
I know.
Yeah.
I love Rosie. Rosie and I became friends 5 years ago because she watched Whatever Martha and loved it. So I had gone to a show she was doing, and I went backstage, and Rosie said, "You're that girl on that show."
Oh, she was already listening.
It was the TV show. She liked the TV show where we made fun of Martha Stewart.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Do you hang out with celebrities, or what's your?
No, not. I mean,
you're a mom.
I'm a mom. I don't hang out with anyone. That's why when you said, "Who do you pal around with?" I mean, I haven't seen Rosie in months. The last time I saw her was at Howard Stern's birthday party. I was her date because I asked to be. I fully texted her a week before and was like, "Are you taking your wife to Howard's birthday party? Because if you're not, I got an idea." She was like, "I'm not. Come on." So we had a great time.
I have the perception that you hang around with the rich and famous.
I don't. I hang around with my kids and my husband. I have no life. We watch television and take care of our kids. I mean, I have teenagers. I gotta be home. Yeah.
Were you doing something big in LA? Can you talk about what?
Yeah. So I went to LA to do the talk. I was the top talker on the talk, and then I met with another executive producer.
What would you say you're the best at?
I think I'm the best at connecting to people. I think I connect with women, and I think I understand what people go through. I think I've been through a lot of very painful events or a lot of changes in the past 6 or 7 years, and I think that because of it, I have tremendous compassion for other people. I lost my mother. I went through a physical metamorphosis. And I'm a working mother. I think like all of that makes me able to relate to what most women are going through.
If you step back now, what does it look? What are you accomplishing? What's the mission? What do you think you're doing?
I think I make people feel better about themselves. I think I make women feel more okay. I think everybody struggles with feeling like they're not doing enough, or they're doing too much, or they're weird, or they're different, or that somehow they don't fit into the right mold of who and what they're supposed to be. And I feel bad for women. It's tough. It's tough to be a woman in today's world.
Why do you feel bad for women?
Because I think we have a hard time. I think that I was never like a bra-burning feminist, but the older I get and the more entrenched in a professional world that I am, I do see sort of the inequality and how we are treated completely differently from how men are treated, and assertiveness is bitchy, and it's way easier to be a pushy man than a pushy broad. Even the verbiage is different.
Yeah, there's a clip of you on YouTube. It's just you going off at Dr. Drew.
Dr. Drew, I want to know what is wrong with the world. That here you put on a show that really matters about potentially dead children, dead husbands, mothers incarcerated, and people are complaining on Twitter that I wear dark nail polish and talk with my hands. Get a grip, people. Don't you think?
Well, yeah.
It's 30 seconds long.
Yeah.
Just you going. I can't remember what the rant is about.
I know what it is.
It's just about you going.
It's a nail polish.
Yeah, and people going, this is about life and death. And
Yeah.
it's just about to make you look exactly what you're describing.
Well, it was just that show
I
happened
agreed
to have
with you.
been, it happened to have been a very heavy show. And sometimes the show that I did with Dr. Drew was light, and sometimes it was heavy. And that particular show was like kids who were dying, essentially. It was like the worst. And the tweet that I got was about my dark colored nail polish and the fact that I use my hands to speak. And I'm like, can you guys have a little perspective?
But that gets pulled out as something to like hold against you. Of look how she's flashy and hot tempered.
Yeah.
I wish you were, dude. I love that part of you. I want more of that. The caring thing is great and loving and everything. I know you do, but
I freak out.
It's not a freak out.
Yeah.
When you're lasered like that, when you have your opinion about what's right and wrong, and that's one of those clear examples of that. Like, it's bullshit that people, particularly during a show like that, like that's a point, and it ends with Drew like laughing at you. It's just super dismissive, just like you said. It's not okay for you to be angry or upset or have an opinion.
Before I got here today, I did get in a little argument with a boy in a parking garage. And thankfully, he didn't call me fat. So I felt like I won, because I'm so used to men, but I'm so used to the insult that men give women. If you say something like, you took my parking spot, a man will say, well, you're fat. Or if you say, like, don't nudge me, you pushed me when you elbowed me, a man will say, you're fat. It's like the thing that they go to, because that's a woman's jugular.
Yeah. What was your most defining moment?
I don't know that I have a defining moment, but I can say that when I lost weight, and it goes back to that so often because there was something incredibly freeing about it. I never had a lot of doubt about my personality or my ability to connect with people, but I always had doubt about my appeal. And I felt like when I was overweight that I was so unappealing that how could I be on camera and how could people like me? And even when I had the show with Alexis, when we did Whatever Martha, which was really, people loved that show, and I was like 65 pounds heavier doing that show. People really liked it, and people liked me. I mean, there were some who were mean and called me Jabba the Hutt because my name is Jenny Hutt or whatever. I still didn't understand how they liked me because I was overweight. And then when I lost weight and I was on camera and I felt in some way that was so freeing, so in that way it's defining.
You're awesome.
Oh, thank you. I think you're awesome. I'm glad you're doing a show. You should be. You have a big personality.
But I'm not the
but you should be.
That's why this is so weird for me doing your job. I've never interviewed anyone before. I've never sat and
But I think you need to ball people out the way you've like yelled at me or you yell at anybody. I think they need to see you get unhinged. He gets super unhinged, like crazy. Have you shown them that at all?
Not really. Not yet. I mean, I assume we'll get there.
Yeah.
You're only the second interview of my life.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
All right, well, you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
seen it elsewhere.
Well, he knows it. We'll have to yell at his
Right?
dumbass.
Freaks out.
We'll have to yell at his dumbass.
All right, I have to pick my kids up at school because, yeah, I'm a mom, so. Thank you.